Alrighty, y'all. Got a gun. Taking a look at some Americans confused in Australia, getting some massive culture shocks, and telling some interesting experiences and stories. We haven't done something like this in a while, although we actually kind of have. We just did 20 minutes of confused Americans in Europe, and boy, oh boy, did that go viral, and it was really funny. And inspired a whole bunch of other people to make similar videos. So we got to expand this to Australia naturally. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Listen, Australia, I love you, but I'm so confused. I'm at the petrol station pouring gas into the car for the first time. By myself. I've seen other people do it. And tell me why you guys don't have those little clicky things.
Boy, that, again, like a lot of other countries in Europe and pretty much elsewhere, this looks a lot different than petrol stations, you would say, or gas stations, we would say, in the U.S.
For the first time.
Just visually.
Other people do it. And tell me why you guys don't have those little clicky things that holds it in place. You have to literally stand here the whole time, which is a bit annoying. Also, I just went in to try and put $50 on the pump, or like just give her cash to put it on, because you don't have like the tap to pays at this thing. And she was like, "What are you doing? You don't have a number plate."
You pay inside, right?
Plate one. She's like, "No, you just fill it up." So, am I stupid? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing here, because there's nowhere to swipe your card out here. Also, what do you guys do when you're trying to get gas in the middle of the night and no one's working at this service station inside? Like, what? Are these things just open 24 hours? Because in the US, you can literally just go tap your card on the machine right there, pump, and drive away. And it's locked until you do that, so you can't steal gas. So
yeah, she's right about that. You pay at the pump almost always here. You can go inside and pay or prepay or whatever, key being prepay. You can't just walk up and get gas. People will be stealing gas all over the place here. You do pay at the pump, which is nice and convenient and fast, but that's just the key. It's just totally different order. It sounds like you guys also do the whole pretty much honor system. You go in after you just kind of pull up and you start pumping your fuel, and then you go in and pay for it after the fact, which is awesome. Obviously, they'll catch you if you try and steal it, but I'm sure way less people try and do that, clearly, than would happen here in the U.S. Also, I wonder if it's like that at every station. She said that you don't have the pumps that actually lock, right, the nozzle. That is a little weird, because we do have that, and I feel like that just makes sense. You put it in, you make sure it's flowing good, and then you can literally lock it so it's stuck open, right? Like it's flowing. It'll flow, and it'll automatically shut off once it senses that your gas tank's full, right? All the way up to the filler neck. So that's, I don't know if it'd be like that everywhere in Australia. Like maybe you guys do have those too, and maybe just this station didn't have it. If you guys don't have it as a whole, that is pretty weird then. But yes, I am such a nerd that getting fuel in different countries, including Australia here, would literally be an experience for me. I would look forward to it, because everything, is different. The pumps are different. The way you do it, looking at the different fuels and octanes and stuff. I don't know why. I would enjoy it a lot. I think it'd be cool. Also, she mentioned if someone wasn't there at night, I don't know what you would do there. I'm assuming they wouldn't let that happen. So maybe there is someone, like an attendant there, each hour of the day, even into the night. You'll have to let me know. POV, you're a very confused American in Australia. What? What are we doing here? I don't know if that would get copyrighted. Probably not. Okay, everyone's kind of dressed up, doing some sort of dance. And it's very coordinated. I'm assuming this must be something everyone knows, and our camera person is American and they have no idea what's going on. I'm American. I have no idea what's going on. I mean, it looks like a fun party. People are dancing. Like, yeah, we do that here. But it says hashtag a nutbush. Hashtag just Aussie things. What? I mean, everyone knows it. It is like a cool dance that everyone's doing. What the heck? And if we look at the comments, I don't even remember doing this in primary school, but somehow I know it. I suggest you learn it ASAP. I swear when Australians are born, we are already programmed to know how to do the nutbush. What? So wait, the nutbush isn't a dance in other places? I legit thought it was a dance everyone everywhere did. What on earth? I feel not dumb, but I feel like out of the loop.
I'm gonna tell you everything I fucking hate. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna tell you all the crazy shit that goes on here that doesn't happen in the States. Starting off with numero uno. If I'm talking to somebody and they're referring to their dad, you would think they would say, my dad, right? Dad took me to the store. Dad dropped me out. What do you mean, dad? It's your dad, babe. It's not my dad. It's your daddy. But for real.
Oh, that doesn't pause it. Whoops. Yeah, that is different. Is that common? People would usually say my dad to someone that's not part of their family here. My dad did this. My dad is like this. But I've known a couple people here in the U.S. who are Americans that like say dad, talking about their dad, and everyone else around there is just supposed to know that, even though that's not our dad, if that makes sense. Definitely not like a big deal or anything, but maybe a slight difference if that's more common there. That is kind of funny.
Those signs like no shoes, no shirt, no service. That's one thing here. They'll serve you no matter what. Everybody here loves nicknames. Like I'll tell somebody my name is Grace and then they'll already be calling me Gracie. Or if
see, that's cool.
Name, they'll automatically shorten it.
I want to meet like a bunch of Australians in Australia and see how many nicknames I get, right? See how creative it really gets. Because I know you guys are the geniuses at nicknames, like the kings of the nickname, and I really admire that. I think it's awesome.
Avocado. If you look at a menu, never will say avocado. Avo. Avo. Can I have avo toast? Or arvo.
That's awesome.
Arvo means afternoon. That kind
arvo,
of relates to lingo. Like
I'm going to eat avo toast in the arvo. Not in the morning. I prefer it in the arvo. I don't know.
How you going? Instead of how you doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, how you going?
Obviously, they drive. Actually, it's not obvious because I didn't know they drive on the left side of the road until I got here.
How you going? Yeah. I'll never get it right, but I'll do my own spin on it. You know, it's how I open my videos usually.
But they do drive on the left side of the road. They also walk on the left side of the street. But what I didn't get was that...
It would make sense,
This like really shook me. I went to a Pilates class when I first got here. And you know how normally we start everything with like the right side? They start everything with the left side, which I guess kind of makes sense. Another one, they don't have Venmo here.
Wow.
Instead, to like transfer money to someone, you have their routing number and their bank account number. Everybody here has heaps of tattoos.
They have to have like money apps. Like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, right? That's a thing in Australia, I imagine.
Piercings, mullets, mustache. The fashion here is very like business casual. The shorts that go all the way down to your knees. The freaking birds are the loudest things. They sound to me like minions. Like nobody here's fat. Everybody's always working out. Everybody has abs. Everybody's...
You know, it makes it look like that on media. I'm sure there's people of every body size, like just like in a lot of countries, like that's real, right? But it does over here, you know, maybe it's a lot of the beach towns, and I know like 90% of Australians live towards the coast. So, I mean, maybe it's that. I mean, for one, I know you guys probably have access to much better food more often and, you know, great fitness culture, which that combined with you're on the beach, you know, you don't want to be covered up all the time. So you want to look good, right? You have a lot of incentive to be in shape. In Australia, it seems like. Everyone talks about the snakes and spiders in Australia, but why does no one talk about this? What's it going to be? Holy crap. Giant bats. I thought there were birds at first. Yeah, they're huge. At sunset, right? Or just after sunset in, you know, my property here in Illinois. And it's pretty weird, right? It's not like this. You'll see just maybe a few, like, flying around. It's not like in droves like this. But they're a lot smaller. And you could tell them apart from birds for sure. These are definitely bigger. And that's a whole swarm of them, too. I would be a little freaked out if I saw that. Not going to lie. I just think of rabies and disease when I think of bats, so yikes.
Things in Australia that just make sense.
Okay.
Dual flush toilet.
Yes, that is freaking awesome. Why isn't that standard everywhere?
Switches
I love
on
it.
outlets.
Yup.
No
like
tipping
it.
at restaurants.
Yes, please.
Foot showers.
Whoa, foot showers? What? That's freaking cool. Never heard of that.
Store shop signs above on sidewalk.
You know what? I did notice this in walking
Above on
videos. I know I realized that I've seen this, but I didn't actually notice it. So that's the proper way to say that. Until right now, this is actually kind of cool. Right? You have these signs against the building for like when you're out in the street, I suppose, driving by or on the other side of the street. But you can't, you don't really need to see those when you're walking this way because they're right by them. So these make more sense. That's actually kind of cool. And it's especially helpful for when you're, 3 or 4 stores down from somewhere. You're looking for this, so-and-so ice cream shop. You might be able to see it better with these signs, rather than if they were on the side, you really can't see them once you're 2 shops away. That's smart.
Every mall has a supermarket.
Yeah, that one is so freaking cool. I still can't wrap my head around that because we just don't do that, and I haven't been to an Australian mall in person. I just feel like I've heard Australian malls are awesome.
Okay, so shopping centers in Western Australia, or maybe just Australia as a whole, are just so much better than the ones from back home. And they have
that one looks nice
stores.
inside.
They got Aldi, they got this place called Coles.
Wow.
They got every freaking restaurant and cuisine that you can think of.
Damn.
And it's just so nice. Like, seriously.
Look at all that. Wow.
I feel like I'm in Dubai. And like they have a pharmacy too.
That place is nice. It's so big. Like malls are usually like, we've had big malls here in the US as well. But ironically, they have a good variety of things, at least it seems like it. But then again, they don't have almost anything she's mentioned, right? The fact that you actually have Aldi's and Kohl's or whatever, like, also just in the mall is awesome.
And the shopping centers, it's like crazy. They call it chemist.
And you have a chemist in there.
Chemart?
What the heck?
I don't know. Yeah, they call it Chemarts?
Kmart? Okay, we used to have Kmart in the US. For some reason we don't, but you guys still do. It's a little weird. But come on. Kmart? What? It's Kmart. What the heck? What?
But I need to go
Oh
buy
my
some
God.
more stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? To remind you guys,
Okay.
I'm at a shopping center and they have a whole deli here.
In the mall? Okay. Yeah, Australian malls are peak. They're freaking awesome. Your malls win. 100%.
Like,
Look at that.
selling meat.
Okay, you can literally do it all. You can get it all done at an Australian mall / shopping center. The name is to be taken literally. Shopping center. You could do anything you could imagine. That's freaking awesome. And it's something, ironically, you'd think that'd be something we would do here in the US, right? But we actually don't. Our malls are not like that.
Like,
We don't have
This is
all
a
this
shopping
going
mall.
on.
and then they have a fresh market.
Okay, dude, that is awesome. Wow.
America could never, ever.
That's pretty freaking cool.
And then like another thing that's like mind blowing to me too is that people will like put everything in a cart from one store. And
You could see people with carts in the background, yeah. Shopping carts.
and like
From
walk
like
around
a
the mall
grocery store, but they're using it in the mall.
and still carry the cart.
That's
Like,
crazy.
that's not something that you
That's
see
so
in
cool.
the States. They have
That's crazy to me because you would never see someone with a shopping cart in a mall here, only at the grocery store. Oh, wow, that is actually neat.
a plethora of different grocery stores in a shopping mall, and they have so many different stores of different specialties. Like, it's so cool. Like I can't wait to become rich. I'd be at the mall every day and at the beach. Bathroom. It's so
Wow.
nice.
Damn, that bathroom is hella nice. A little weird getting a bathroom cam, right? Like, that's something I'm sorry I could never film myself. But hey, I didn't film it. I'm just watching it. That's to get real. That bathroom is nice. Just saying.
Dude, they have a whole area where
Wow.
you can sit down and charge your phone or something in the bathroom.
Yeah, even the bathroom's nice. Wow. You know what? America, what the hell, man? What are we doing? Why are we so
What?
behind on this stuff? That bathroom is
And they
hella
got,
nice.
medical spas in these malls. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's like anything that you can think of, you can find it here. Honestly, if you just add some like apartment units into this mall, like
Yeah.
you probably would never have to step foot outside of this building to sustain your life. That's how crazy it is. At least to me.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. That was interesting. I mean, Australian malls are just next level. They're like you could practically live there if you really wanted to. I mean, obviously, you're in Australia. I think you'd want to spend a lot of time outside as well. It's pretty nice, I hear. It's funny because over here, malls were like so big when I was a kid, like 80s, 90s. And now just malls are dying out so much. There's so many awesome malls that have just died out and shut down completely. Actually, my area, the greater northern Illinois area or Chicagoland area is kind of unique in the sense that there's still a lot of malls alive. There have been some that have been closed, but it was always kind of known as like a mall kind of like super area for malls compared to other places in the country. And so mall culture is held on a little bit here in Illinois, I guess you could say. But still, our malls are, I think, pretty cool, some of them. But they're still not like this. It's pretty wild.
So in Australia, they eat these things called snack packs.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god, it's gigantic. Fries, lamb, and barbecue sauce.
That looks fucking amazing.
What? There's also cheese.
Oh,
In it.
oh my God, dude. I'm jealous. I've seen so much food content, right? I'm actually legit jealous.
It's very like strong, but it's good.
Oh,
I would
how
give
could that
it
not be good?
A 7 out of 10.
Okay. I feel like that's got to hit harder than that, right? I feel like that's an 8, 9, or 10 out of 10, maybe. Looks so freaking good. Look at that. Wow, that is big, too. I mean, that's not fitness food. It's not something you're going to have every day. It's not something you're going to want to do before you play sports or work out. But look, if you want to ham out on a good meal, holy crap, that looks incredible. You know what? I want that. Where can I get this here? I can't get this here. Why? I'm going to sneak out. I'm going to go to Australia right now. I'll see you guys in a bit. You know what? I'm going to freaking run. I don't even need to wait for booking a flight. I don't need to pay the money for the flight. I'm going to run across the freaking Pacific Ocean right now. I'm getting that. I'm going to figure it out.
Things about Australia that would literally send Americans into a chokehold. First off, it's illegal to not wear a helmet when you're biking. You can get a ticket.
Wow.
Love.
That's pretty. She's talking about actual bicycles, not motorcycles. Yeah, I guess you don't have to legally wear one here for sure. No, that's pretty strict, but it makes sense. I mean, safety. Why would you risk it, right? Most people, like we teach our kids, you're going to be wearing helmets on the bike. Sorry, like you're going to do it, and it just makes sense. So
Love the safety though. That's great. Australians say, "How are you going?" instead of "How are you doing?" And then you would reply, "Oh, I'm going good." In my personal experience, I haven't found.
is that, you know what? I actually never thought of that. How would you respond to that? I would just be like, I'm all right, or I'm good. Something like that.
Found that many spiders, but you always see that they're around. The spider webs, they're everywhere. Australians don't really care about huge corporations like Starbucks. No one's there. No one really goes. No one cares about it.
Hey, you make your own stuff or you support local stuff. Good on ya. I try to do the same. I get it. People are obsessed with Starbucks here. I'm not. I don't get it. I mean, it's actually kind of funny. My wife and I laugh. We've seen like 3 different things go up this year, and it's only 6 months into the year. And around our area, and we're like, oh, we're all excited. Like, what is that? What's this new place? I wonder if it's going to be a new restaurant or something, right? Nope. All 3 times, way different parts of town, they were all Starbucks. I can't make this up. I just don't get it. I never go there, but yet they're opening all around. And there's like 20 of them within like a 10-mile radius of me. I just don't get it.
Everyone follows the rules on the road. People just know what they're doing, they know where they're going, and they know how to do it.
Yeah, it's what I've
You
seen
don't
in
see
other
raccoons
countries.
down the
Must be
road, you see
nice.
kangaroos.
Yeah, that's
Big
different.
thing. Australians work to live. They don't live to work.
Hell
There's
yeah.
speed cars everywhere. You can't speed. That's just not a thing. Don't
Speed cars? She means speed cameras?
do it. On the highway, they have some beams that go over
That I don't like. And I think most countries have those. Some places around Chicago have them too. And I don't like those towns.
the road. There's
But
for koalas
there's
to
cameras
cross
everywhere,
they
so
don't get
whatever.
hit. Cute. Like in Fallout 4 Part 2.
That is interesting, that last one. Let me hear that. Let's
They
hear
have
that
some beams
uninterrupted.
go over the road. Those are for koalas to cross so they don't get hit.
What? I'm going to look that up. Okay, so I typed in koala over road beams. I didn't really know what to type in, and you can actually see the image right here. How freaking cool is this? Look at that. That is for koalas, according to this article. You can see the road right there. That is something so interesting that you would never think, or I would never think as an outsider, that you would need, but it makes sense. That is literally built. Like, that's an interesting piece of infrastructure. Koala beam. There you go. I don't know if that's what it's called, but makes sense. And I bet that does a lot. It helps the koalas out because we don't want a bunch of koalas hurt or worse on the side of the road. That would not be fun.
Most Australian thing I've ever seen was in the Gold Coast. I saw this woman run a stop sign and get hit by a car. And this old Australian woman lifted her head over the fence and went, "You fucking idiot!" Not, "Do you need a hand? Should I call an ambulance?" Just, "You fucking idiot." Most Australian thing I've ever seen.
That's the most Australian thing I've ever heard. That's freaking awesome. Yes, but is she wrong? That video where Magpie dropped a snake and the table just tossed it away. You know what? How do you define the most Aussie thing? Some things are just so Australian. It just hits you. It hits you in the best way. It's a very unique thing.
I'll show you pieces because I know exactly where I'm from. You fucking know it. I used to live here. I know you fucking wrong. Fuck off. I don't like I live anywhere like you do. I'm Jez and I've been all around the world. Like, actually probably have to learn Portuguese, Europe. Probably gonna. I'll show you pieces because I know exactly where I'm from.
I'll be honest. This is something I am both looking forward to because I like language and I like accents and things. Like I look forward to hearing just Australians everywhere, right? And they all speak different than me, and I think that's cool. And it's like a sign that you're somewhere different, right? But I also am nervous because hearing that many people and they're just going about their day speaking Australian English, right? And they're all different, accents and dialects and stuff. But, it's like, I'm also nervous because I don't want to not understand people. It's just something I don't want to do. I don't want to look dumb and not understand people. And I'm just bad. I'm just bad at it. Like, Americans are just bad at understanding things if it's not spoken exactly like them. It's not our fault, I feel like. I want to understand everyone. I feel like I would be bad at it because I don't understand almost anything that was said here. Of course, the comments, right? We won't have the comments in an actual interaction between me and an Australian, but we do here. So here we go. They're basically talking about how one of them has lived there for ages and how the other one has been around or has been all around the world. But Probs actually hasn't. That's hilarious. Thank you for the clarification. That's not what I heard at all. So, very interesting.
First time I stepped foot in an Australian airport as an American, I was confused, to say the least. Not only did they never check my ID, never. They barely checked my ticket. And you could walk through to the gate without having your ticket checked. I had no idea that there were places that airports were this relaxed. But truly in Australia, it's like they don't know 9/11 ever happened. That's too soon. But in America, our airports are very strict and secure. When you go to security, they check your ID and your ticket. You can't.
Which I get it, right? I get why they have to be secure, and it's annoying. It is super strict and secure. Airports are a nightmare here in the U.S. for any flight, domestic, international, doesn't matter. That's crazy to think that it's so chill and relaxed Australian. That's on brand
without
though.
Those two things. Then you have to take off your shoes,
your
belt,
here
your
is
jacket. You have to pull out your liquids, your laptop, your phone, everything.
It is totally invasive and long. Everything takes long. It's a nightmare. It really
And
is.
then they'll probably still pat you down if you accidentally left some nail clippers in your bag. The airports in Australia are very different, and I think represent that life here is just a lot chiller for a variety of reasons. Just so you know, when you go to an Australian airport, no, you're not missing anything. They just aren't like we are in America. They have taken a chill pill.
That's awesome. Care to weigh in on this if you've had the experience in both countries? I wonder if that's pretty consistent. I assume it is.
An Australian airport as an American.
That's awesome. Australia for the win.
I just found something out about Australia and I feel so stupid. So I've been living in Australia for the past 4 years now. And the entire time that I've been living here, I thought all the women were calling each other doll. Come to find out, it's darl. But it sounds like doll. They've been calling each other darl.
Darl.
Like short for darling.
Oh, short for darling.
Like short for darling.
Okay, some people might say darling here, but I've never heard that shortened to darl. And I'm pretty sure.
It's so cute. Like
I just keep playing by itself. TikTok, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure darl wouldn't even be said like that in Australia, because that's how I'm saying it. I'm assuming people are probably looking at their TV right now like, what did he say?
I loved it when
maybe
called me
Australian saying darl would sound like doll from an American ear. I mean, yeah, that's literally what she said, bro. That makes sense?
But the entire time, I have thought they've been calling me doll. I just found
Funny.
something out about Australia
Interesting.
and I feel so stupid.
The accents are awesome. They're also confusing for a typical American. Can you believe that? Going shopping in Australia as an American? Okay, I missed the caption. Hi, sorry, could you help me find something? Yeah, no worries, mate. What are you after? I'm looking for a cantaloupe. Okay. Okay, I'm going to guess these are called something else in Australia. You guys got cantaloupes, right? I'm pretty sure. It's a fruit, kind of round, orange on the inside. Yeah, they're like gray and orange. Tan and orange. Yeah. I guess it kind of does look like a rock. We call it a rock melon. Oh my God, there it is. That is so Australian too, to just name things like that. Oh, it looks like a rock. It's a melon. Call it a rock melon. That is so painfully simplified. It's actually kind of smart. Wow, that is very on brand and quite entertaining, I should add. I love it. Rock melon. I'm going to ask for that in my local store and see what they show me. Okay, things that are normal in Australia that my American mind couldn't comprehend. Okay, what's this American confused about? Employees are legally entitled to 4 weeks of annual leave. How do you maximize shareholder value? Who the hell cares about that? This guy is too American. How do you maximize shareholder value? Dude, if I'm an employee, how about the high ups worry about that? Not my problem, right? 4 weeks of annual leave right off the bat, sign me up. That is freaking awesome. Workers here in the US, man, it's not fun. Work culture here is terrible. It's terrible, y'all. It's bad. It's rough. People here are just tired of working. Oz unions, look at this. Workers don't care about shareholder value. That's awesome. What the hell is America doing? As an Aussie, 4 weeks is not enough. Damn. Sorry, USA, you're really an uncivilized country. Honestly, you're not wrong. Don't remind me. Well, I'm going to end it there. That was thoroughly entertaining. That is some Americans getting totally culture shocked and confused about Australia. You have to let me know what you thought of this. I really do look forward to the comments of this one, as always. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully I will see you in the next one as well. That being said, y'all, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, I'll catch you later.